Hey guys, hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to talk about the top and best privileged account and session management solutions. So the privileged account and session management solutions, or some of you might know them as PAM accounts or privileged account management solution, or some others might know as PIM solutions or privileged identity management solutions. They're basically the type of solutions that they control and manage the privileged credentials and accounts and the way that people are using those privileged accounts to make sure that it's done in a secure way. When you are selecting a privileged account management solution, there are a few different things to consider. And basically, there are some high-level considerations that everyone needs to keep in mind. The one and most important thing is platform's internal security. We need to make sure that the solution that we're actually selecting is secure itself. So we need to make sure that our privileged accounts, our privileged credentials, that they are being kept on that solution, they are actually secure, right? So and bad guys cannot get access to them, because that would be terrible if we have a solution to manage all of our privileged accounts and the solution is not secure itself. So obviously the security capabilities is very important on that solution. So whether we're going down the path of physical or virtual appliance or a cloud-based solution, that's another story. So there are cloud-based solutions for PAM and there are obviously appliance-based solutions. We have to select and think about what is really the right approach here and what we really want to do. Some companies, they are a bit paranoid about obviously having credentials or privileged credentials on the cloud. So a lot of companies, they actually go down the path of having appliances on site. So integration capabilities, we need to make sure our solution is actually able to connect and manage a lot of different devices and sources. Whether there are different operating systems like Windows and Linux, or different databases like Oracle or SQL, infrastructure as a service like AWS or Azure, or different type of network devices, firewalls, and so on. So our solution needs to be able to integrate to all those and manage privileged accounts from all those different account types or device types. Ease of management and operation, very general principle. We need to make sure that our solution is easy to operate and easy to manage, right? Ease of use, dashboards, searches, inventory. So that's a very important part of the PAM solution. Our IT operation teams, normally they are the ones that they're using PAM solution in order to connect to the servers, connect to the databases, connect to the applications. And they're used to using their own traditional tools like RDP manager or SSH management tools and stuff like that. And PAM is a different way, so obviously it would change things. So obviously it has to make it easy for them, and it has to be easy for them to obviously use and adapt. Otherwise, it would be really hard for people to adapt to the solution. Powerful policy creation. Policy creation is probably the core part of any PAM solution. We want to make sure that we can create the policies to ensure, who has access to what, as well as obviously create the workflow approvals and so on and so forth. Asset discovery and management. So that's another core part of your PAM solution. You don't want to do this manually. You don't want to create all the servers and applications and databases manually in the PAM solution. Normally, you want your PAM solution to have capability to be able to integrate to other solutions like VMware, like Azure or AWS, or even your CMDB, and gather those information from there, rather than creating those assets manually. Threat detection and prevention is another important part of the PAM solution. We want to make sure that any threat or any anomaly would be detected on the PAM solution. So any abnormal usage of your privileged accounts would be flagged as a risk and obviously identified as an incident. Advanced reporting and alerting is very important for our operation team to have obviously proper capability of reporting and alerting, and obviously act on those alerts on a timely manner. So SIEM integration, so that's a security information event management solution. So it's very important for our solution to be able to integrate with a SIEM solution and provide all those logs to a SIEM solution that can be obviously used for audit purposes or security purposes or investigation purposes in the future. Break glass scenario. So if our PAM solution is down or has a big problem, if there's a disaster, it would be really a huge problem for our IT operation team and a big consequence. So we need to think about what would be really the break glass scenario and how we can really cover that. A lot of PAM solutions, they provide obviously this functionality. Support and SLA, we need to make sure obviously we have the right level of support and SLA from the vendor. It's a very general concept. And support for distributed and hybrid environments. So these days, a lot of actual companies, they have resources on-prem, on-site, on infrastructure as a service, whether it is Azure, AWS. They have stuff in remote locations in different countries and so on and so forth. So our PAM solution need to be flexible enough to support all those. So now with all that said, we're going to move to obviously a few research reports and see how we can actually choose a product. So the first report that we're going to talk about is the market guide for privileged access management from Gartner. So this is a little bit old, a couple of years old, but still I think it has good information in there that would help you obviously to understand the operation of different solutions. So I'm going to go through this report, and we just move to the page that includes a table of different vendors, right? So you see a table in different vendors, and as you can see, obviously they have obviously talked about these different vendors, the company, the market share, whether they are supporting small part of the market or big part of the market, whether they're working in enterprise or smaller business and so on. Whether they have session recording capabilities, built-in HA, application-to-application policy management. So application-to-application is a capability for PAM solutions in order to let different applications and different basically assets to use privileged accounts in a controlled way and talk to each other. And obviously how they actually, what options are available. So if we go to the explanation at the bottom, you can see this icon actually explains that available as option. So these things available as option. If the black one included in the base product, and we have obviously whether it is software, hardware, virtual, or cloud-based solutions. So if we look at different solutions in here, you can see Beyond Trust. They are covering a large part of the market. They are obviously including a lot of things, and they have different appliances, and CA is pretty much the same. So application to application is additional. Centrify, same, and CyberArk, obviously you see that everything is really literally an option there. So this is a good report obviously to start looking at and understand obviously the market and what is available. The second report we're going to talk about is the Gartner Magic Quadrant report for privileged access management. This report came out really late last year, 2018, and obviously is comparing a lot of different vendors in the market. And as you can see on the leader section of the Gartner report, we have CyberArk, Beyond Trust, Centrify, and CA technologies, and then we have others in the niche player and obviously visionary sections as well. CyberArk and Beyond Trust have been there for a long time. Obviously, they are really leaders in the market. Centrify is a cloud-based solution that's actually a plus, and it helps companies that they don't really want to manage the environment. And CA Technology, they had a recent acquisition of Excidium, and that is basically a pretty good product that they're offering on the market, and it has its own values in there. You can obviously go to the report and look at obviously all the strengths and quotients for different vendors, and obviously understand the capabilities for different vendors as well. The other report that we're going to talk about is the Forrester Wave. Again, late 2018 came out, and this also obviously is a comparison for different vendors and different products, and you can see the vendors that have been compared: BeyondTrust, CA, Centrify, and so on and so forth. And if you go to the table, you see pretty much you have the same sort of companies on the leader section: CyberArk, Centrify, Thycotic, BeyondTrust, and CA Technologies. And you see followed by ManageEngine and so on. So the good thing is it actually shows the market presence for those vendors as well. And you can see CyberArk, Centrify, and interestingly enough, ManageEngine, they have a big market share in this area, right? So that's another good report to look at. If you go further down in the report, you see the actual weighting score matrix. So this is what I like about Forrester Wave report, that they basically compare the products with for different capabilities and different criteria, and they rate them basically. So this is a good section to look at, obviously, different product capabilities and see what is actually good for your environment and for you. So now with that, we're going to move into our final section of the winners and what I think would be appropriate for different company sizes. You can see on my vendor comparison page here, I have selected and shortlisted a few different products: CyberArk, BeyondTrust, CA, Thycotic, Centrify, and ManageEngine. And obviously I have my reasons looking at the architecture, looking at the reports, looking at the market share, looking at the capabilities. There are obviously different reasons that I have selected those. You can see that with some of these vendors like CyberArk, BeyondTrust, there is software option, there is hardware and software option. Centrify is a cloud-based solution. Thycotic, BeyondTrust, CyberArk, and ManageEngine, there are software solutions that they need to be installed on a Windows machine. CA is a lockdown Linux machine, so they have everything in one single appliance that you can install it on VMware or AWS or even a physical appliance. And obviously Centrify is cloud, so they have connectors in order to connect back to the cloud that needs to be installed on the internal environment. The other obviously difference is CyberArk, BeyondTrust, Thycotic. They need a central database. I think it's SQL Server database that all the different appliances, they need to talk to that central database and communicate with that central database. While CA, they have their own internal database which will be replicating between different appliances internally. The other thing is, for some of these vendors, you need to have an RDP server in place in order to manage the applications and RDP connections and so on. CA, they have an internal RDP server as part of the appliance. So CA solution is really just one appliance doing everything pretty much, which is useful for some companies, might not be for some others. As I said, CyberArk and BeyondTrust, in terms of policies and discoveries, and obviously the powerful capabilities, I think they are really leaders in the market, right? So compared to others, and application to application as well. So they support a wide range of applications. So that's good. ManageEngine is, on the other hand, is kind of a smaller or simpler platform for really smaller companies, and it provides really a turnkey solution for companies that they don't want to go through a lot of complexity and they don't want to spend a lot of money. So that's a really good solution there. Now, in terms of what I think will be the winners, I think with the small business, I would probably select Thycotic and ManageEngine. For medium business, I would probably go with BeyondTrust or CA and Centrify. For larger businesses or enterprise, we would probably look at CyberArk and BeyondTrust. And the reason for that is obviously there are more advanced capabilities and much more powerful controls on the CyberArk and BeyondTrust for larger companies that might be needed. And one note in there is if you are really looking into having a really simple appliance-based solution that could replicate easily and it's very easy to support and maintain. I think CA probably is the winner there. If you're looking into cloud, I think Centrify is obviously a good solution there. Their prices can go high sometimes, but I guess that's really the price that you pay for maintaining, for someone else to maintain your environment. So these are all my opinions. Obviously, you're more than welcome to go and look at the report and the researches and pick your own. I hope this has been informative and useful for you. Thank you very much for viewing.